I was born during the Depression, and when you live then, you learn to conserve everything. As you're growing up, you know you don't have very much, and what you've got, you better take good care of and see that it's going to last you a long time.
Virginia Homme is a dedicated environmental steward. Her farm site showcases the best of soil and water protections and clean energy, a legacy she will leave to future generations. Ginger's earth-friendly installations include a restored wetland, buffer strips, pollinator plots, and geothermal, solar, and wind power systems. The diminutive conservationist treads lightly on the earth and leaves little carbon in her footprint.
I bought a hybrid car, and that makes quite a difference. The solar panels alone have saved 153,062 pounds of CO2. I don't have a readout at all on the wind, but it's maybe 10 to 20% of that more. And that's the thing that really surprises me, that one person in, it'll be 10 years in November, so could do that much with that little.
After Ginger's husband Paul retired from the Air Force in 1976, they moved to Yellow Medicine County with son Eric and ran a cattle operation inherited from Paul's father. In 2002, they purchased a 160-acre farm close to Granite Falls. 2 years later, Paul died unexpectedly.
When my husband passed away, we lived in a big house on the bluff about 8 miles from town with a long driveway, and it took me a few years to figure out where I wanted to relocate to that would be easier to manage. And after about 2 years, I realized we owned this farm site, and it had no buildings on it. We had only had it a few years, and we began, I got Eric to help me start cleaning it up and making it something we could use.
Ginger rented out most of her new farm, but she kept 17 acres where she built an energy-efficient house and set out to restore natural habitat.
She would show up to these meetings and just take in all the knowledge of local conservation practices, projects going on, and she inquired about the Conservation Reserve Program, particularly about CRP pollinator plots. She wanted us to assist her in installing a pollinator plot. So I said, well, I can help you out there. And we designed up a mix for her, ordered it up, and installed it for her. It's been getting more popular, especially the last maybe 5 years or so. Programs are paying more for people to install more diverse mixes, hence the CP42 pollinator practice. They take more energy to maintain. You can't manage those in ways that you would manage a clean grassland practice or restoration. The very next year, we installed another CRP practice across the stream that flows through her property.
And the native seeds have extremely deep roots and do well to turn the soil into a sponge so that there isn't so much water runoff, erosion, wind erosion, rain erosion. And helps prevent some flooding too when it soaks up the water.
Kind of early spring 2019, she has a stream flowing through her property. Ginger had the perfect spot on this farm to create a wetland, where we built an earthen diversion or a bank down in the bottom of her ravine where the stream runs through. The stream drains roughly 711 acres of watershed. It's a good source of sediment, total suspended solids, and phosphorus to the Minnesota River. This wetland creation will reduce 11.3 tons of sediment and phosphorus. So every year this wetland remains on the property, it will reduce that much pollutants into the Minnesota River.
The bacteria in the bottom of the wetland, it's the same bacteria that industry use in an anaerobic digester to clean up the most polluted water you could think of, and they do a tremendous job of cleaning up the water.
Because that sustains our lives. Groundwater and the water in the streams and lakes, if we can keep those clean for future generations, that's important to me.
once when they did the work down here, they were surprised at the depth of the black dirt before they wanted to get down to clay to use that for the berm. And they had to dig more than 2 feet down. It was a big surprise, so I feel like I'm sitting on a gold mine. We need to keep it where it is and not have it blow away or go downstream, because we have some of the best farmland around, ever, anywhere. We can't afford to lose it.
In 2019, we as in Chippewa SWCD, nominated Ginger Hami as our Conservationist of the Year. We noticed just all the things that we've done for her or helped her with, accompanied with the things she's done on her own, and felt she was very deserving of the award.
Well, that was quite a surprise that they give awards for the little old ladies. And it was I got a beautiful picture by Terry Redlin called The Conservationist, and it looks beautiful in my living room. Climate change is something that's definitely here, and we all need to do all we can to be ready to handle the heavy rains and the heavy winds, and to avoid the erosions and the flooding, and we can't deny it.
Long after we're gone, the land will still be here, and it's worth investing in it.
Where there's clean water and healthy soils, life will flourish. Here on Ginger's farm, life is flourishing, and she's done a great job.